It's an interesting observation on this week's Parsha. This week's Torah portion, Parhsas Vayechi, describes for us the death of Yaakov Avinu. And the Torah tells us that Yosef fulfilled his father's wish, to which he made him swear to, that Yaakov would not be buried in Eretz Mitzrayim, in the land of Egypt, but he would be buried in Hebron, the Parhsas Machpelah, in Eretz Yisrael, in the land of Israel. And the Torah tells us that when Yosef went up, he didn't just go up by himself, but he brought a bunch of the Egyptian servants went with him, and all of his brothers went with him. All of the Shvatim, as we would expect, all the sons of Yaakov, they also went with him to Eretz Canaan, to Eretz Yisrael, to bury Yaakov in Hebron. Okay? After they returned to Mitzrayim, the Torah tells us, Vayiru ache Yosef kimes avihem. And the brothers of Yosef saw that their father had died. Why does the Torah need to tell us this? The Torah already told us that all the brothers went with Yosef to Eretz Canaan, to the land of Canaan, Eretz Yisrael, to bury Yaakov. Of course, they saw that Yaakov had died. They were at his funeral. After they returned, the Torah tells us that they saw that their father had died. What's going on? And Rashi, on this pasuk, makes a very interesting comment. He says, Ma vayiru. What is it? What is this that they saw? Rashi explains, Hikiru b'misaso etzel Yosef. They realized Yaakov Avinu's death in Yosef, through Yosef. Shehayu regilim lisod al shulchano shel Yosef, v'haya makarvan bishvil kvod aviv. Because they would normally eat when Yaakov Avinu was alive, and Yosef was a tremendously powerful person in Mitzrayim. Out of respect for his father, he would bring his brothers and have them sit at his table, close to him. Umishanes, but after Yaakov Avinu passed away, lo karvan, he did not bring them close. They sat at a separate table. They sat distant from him. What is Rashi getting at? I think there's a tremendous yesod, a tremendous principle in life that we can pull out of these psukim and this Rashi. And that is, many times in life, we recognize something as being true. It could be, let's take something in the Torah. The Torah is emes. We could recognize the Torah as a book of truth. That is the first degree of truth. But there's a second degree of truth. A more intense degree, let's call it. Where the truth actually impacts your life. Where it's not just an understanding or a hakara of the truth, but your life is actually altered by that truth. The brothers, of course they knew that Yaakov was dead. They buried him in Hebron. But Vayiru ache Yosef kimes avihem, that's telling us something else. This is what Rashi's getting at. They saw it in Yosef. All of a sudden, their lives were altered. This was making inroads and impact into their day-to-day life. They were no longer welcomed, so to speak, seemingly, at the shulchan of Yosef, at Yosef's table. They had to sit in a different place. There was a change. And that was a far greater understanding of the truth of their father being dead. It was now making an impact. It was much more tangible to them. Whereas before, it was understanding, okay. But now, there was an obvious difference and an obvious impact to them. And I think this is something that's very important for us to understand, just in terms of growth. Because I would never claim that one can automatically or overnight fulfill or live a life that is reflective of all of the truths of the Torah, or of any truth. To do that spontaneously is not necessarily always a positive thing. But the idea is, once you have a hakara of it, once you have an understanding, and you actually agree to something as being true, there's a next step, and it goes beyond that. That it has to be integrated. The truth is to be integrated into our lives. And that our lives actually express the truth. It's not just something that is in our head, but one could actually see it in the way that we behave. And this is, I think, a fundamental idea, and something that all of us should really aspire to, that people should look at us and be able to see the truth of the Torah, the truth of Judaism, just in the way that we live.